will. I never quite trust the cloud. Anyways, so I'd like to introduce Bryce Kinder, who's from Kiwanis International. Um, I love your title. Uh, it doesn't say Alpha Geek, but it might as well, right? Right. And
That'd probably be a little bit more memorable or understated.
anyways, but because the tech team there has been really doing some wonderful things, I think, to support clubs and help us with tools to broaden our impact and make it easier to do all sorts of different things. And so I really appreciate, Bryce, that you would, after several meetings and working all day, that you would take the time tonight to tell us about some of the new features that are in, or advanced features that are in the free website package. So welcome, Bryce.
Thank you, Joanne. I appreciate it. Thank you all for taking time out of your evenings. I imagine it's probably around dinner time or just after dinner time for some of you. So I appreciate that you all would take time to learn about uh, something, as maybe dry as a website tool, but we really think that we've got a product available to our Kiwanis clubs and districts that will give you a lot of value, and make having a web presence easier for clubs and members. Online is where everybody's at, nowadays, right? That's how people get their information. That's where people communicate. And that's where people find out about what Kiwanis clubs and districts are doing. And so we've worked to create a product that will help you to leverage, the stories and the service that your clubs are doing and telling, and getting that out there to people so that they can find out the great things that you all are doing in your communities. That's the point of having a club website. So, as Joanne mentioned, again, my name is Bryce Kinder. I work with the IT department of Kiwanis International. I've been with the organization for 23 years,
Wow.
most of that time with the member services department. And then a couple of years ago, I transferred over to the IT department to focus on some specific projects that we have going on. But one of those projects is helping to educate our clubs and members on some of the technology resources that we have. And so the club website product that we offer is one of those things. We really want to get the news out about that. And so that's why I'm excited to present to you all tonight. So as Joanne mentioned or may have indicated in her communications inviting folks to this is the second level of our club website class that we present. We have a base level that just kind of talks about very general things about the club websites. Tonight, we're going to look at some specific features and we're going to kind of go off road. We're going to pull up the club website dashboard and get into it and kind of see how you do certain things and try some things out and everything. And we have some new features that have just come about within the last couple of weeks that we're excited to show you as well. So, having said that, if you haven't seen the level one session that we've done, don't worry about that. We will kind of do a review and talk about some of the basics of that. But I think you'll get a good sense of the club website's feature as we kind of go through it. So we're a small group tonight, which is great. That makes it easier for sharing. So um, I think we can have a casual enough conversation that if you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself if that's okay, Joanne.
Mhm.
With this size of a group, I think that should be okay to from an orderliness standpoint. But if you want, you can put information in the chat feature of Zoom as well. Feel free to ask questions however you want, but you certainly can stop me as we go through and ask questions, and we'll have some question and answer time at the end as well. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started. So again, my name is Bryce Kinder. My official the official title now is Technology Solutions Engineer, and really my focus is just ensuring that the technology that Kiwanis creates, the tools that we create for our clubs and members, actually will be of value to members, that have the members focus in as a priority as part of that. And so that's why it's important for me to be able to talk with you all about these things that we present. So always like to kind of give you a roadmap of what we're going to talk about, so that what by the end of the session, what we should have learned and kind of covered as part of that. So we're going to talk about, reviewing the free club websites. Like I talked about, we'll ensure that we kind of give you the basics if you aren't familiar with the product, and just kind of give you some general information about it. We're going to talk about page creation and editing. This is kind of the nuts and bolts things, right? This is how you create a page of your club website. This is how you add content to it and make it what you want to be. So we'll actually go into a demo website and kind of see how easy it is to create a page and add stuff to it. We're going to talk about leveraging the form builder that we offer on our club website. So as part of the website package, we give you a tool that allows you to create and embed different types of forms on your website, and you can use those in lots of different powerful ways. And so we'll show you kind of how that works. We'll talk about connecting your Facebook page and also some of your other social media accounts as well. Right, your website's a good main primary place to get information to visitors, but you may be leveraging Instagram and X or Twitter as well, and there's ways to connect that information. Facebook, we've got a special integration for that we'll talk about. And so some interesting ways that you can kind of aggregate all of those social media accounts into one place so that people can come to your website, but kind of branch out to other locations to find out more about you. And then we're going to show you a new tool that we have added as an option to the club websites that allows you to install a premium AI chat agent on your website. And so some of you may hear that when I say that and think, oh, that sounds like crazy, and that's way past anything I understand. But we're going to show you how it works, how your club can use it, and kind of the specifics around it. And you might find that it's much easier than you originally thought. So finally, we'll have time for questions and answers. Again, with a group this size, I think it's certainly appropriate for you to have questions as we go along. Feel free to stop me in the middle or unmute and ask questions, and I'm happy to answer those as we go through the session itself. So with that, let's talk a little bit about the free Kiwanis websites platform that we offer. And so what is that? It's basically just a free, simple, that's one of the key things. It's simple to use. It has a professional design, and it's really user friendly. And it's a template-based system that has been built on WordPress. If you've heard of WordPress before in other areas of your life, WordPress is a very prominent web platform. It's used by lots and lots of different organizations and groups and things like that. And because it's so prominent, it's been well tested, well vetted, it's secure. And so when we started this program, WordPress was uh, really the platform that made the most sense to us as part of that. It's open source, so people do lots of different things with it, but it's been vetted and tested, and it's there so that you can further the mission of your clubs, of the organization, of the district, and get the information out about your clubs itself. So it's designed by and for Kiwanis. So we only offer this to Kiwanis family clubs, whether it be a Kiwanis club or a Key Club or Circle K. We don't offer this to any non-Kiwanis related organizations, which is good. That means that the only input that we're looking for and kind of basing our decisions off of are the feedback that we get from clubs and districts. And so we only have one customer base, and that's Kiwanians. But we've built this with Kiwanis members in mind. Kiwanis members have tested this for us, and so it's really focused on what members, clubs, districts, and foundations need. So we feel good about where we're focusing on to provide that item. So let's talk a little bit about the division of labor. So people, one of the things that I think really slows clubs down when they think about having a hosted website is the fact that they have to put a lot of time and effort into setting it up and maintaining it, making sure it's secure and paying for it and all of that stuff. And so with these club and district websites that we offer, we've done what we think is a very equitable division of responsibility, right? Kiwanis International handles setting up the site structure. We spin it up for you. We provide you a domain. We provide training resources, and then we maintain the infrastructure and security. So if there's a upgrade or an update to a program that we need to implement, we do that for all of the sites. You don't have to worry about really much of the under the hood aspect of the website. So then the question is, what is the Kiwanis Club responsible for? Well, clubs, districts, and foundations, their main focus should be on creating engaging content to put on the websites themselves, right? They should be focused on putting information about the Kiwanis experience from their club or their district and really promoting their Kiwanis experience so that people that come to their websites can kind of see that and say, look at all this great work that these Kiwanis members are doing. That's the fun stuff, right? That's the stuff we that we want to focus on is putting that great stuff on there. You don't have to do the meat and potatoes kind of stuff. KI will take care of that for you. Just focus on putting great content as part of that. So, just a little bit about the history of the program. We have had the free club website program for about 5 or 6 years, and we have over 1,300 clubs that are currently partaking in it. And so that's about a third of the clubs in North America. And so this is not just something that's come about and that's unvetted or unused. Frank, you mentioned wanting to have something that's got longevity in it, something that's going to last for a good long time. We're committed to supporting the Kiwanis website program for a long time. It's been a win-win program for us and for clubs. There's no reason why we would end it, and we've been doing it for a while. So that hopefully will give you some sense of security about using something that's kind of been tested and vetted as part of that. So some of the key features that our club websites and our district websites offer in no particular order, but they're mobile friendly. So obviously individuals, interact with your website through lots of different devices. Most of it's through their phone or their tablets. And so we need to make sure that those websites look as good on a phone as it does on a laptop. And so our sites are mobile friendly. They'll scale depending on the device that you're looking at on them. They're fully branded. And so you don't have to worry about, does my website have a consistent look with Kiwanis or with the district? The theme that we use is very brand oriented and gives a consistency while still allowing you to do a lot of customization. It's available in any language. So if you have a club that was in a predominantly an area predominantly where English wasn't the spoken language or the written language, we do offer support for having websites in different languages. We can't handle multiple languages as of yet. So if you have a bilingual area, That's not something that we can currently support where you can kind of flip back and forth, but we can, if for clubs that are in an area where the language is predominantly, I don't think that probably uh is the case in your instances, but we do offer this program to clubs in non-English speaking locations. You can set it up ways to accept payments through your club website. So we'll talk about that in a little bit more depth when we talk about the forms, but we have the ability to connect payment processors to the forms that you create on your website so that you can take in payment for different things like service projects or fundraisers, even dues, things of that nature. And so we have that ability. It's low maintenance, right? We talked about that. You don't have to worry about maintaining the website from a under the hood standpoint. KI takes care of that. And so that's a nice feature is you don't have to worry about that kind of uh, you know, uh behind the scenes sort of stuff. It's secure. We maintain the security on it. So any security updates that need to be updated or pushed out, we do that. And again, WordPress is a very secure system as well. We have Google Calendar integration. So if your club uses a public Google Calendar, we have the ability to integrate that into the club website so that if you update an event on your Google Calendar for your club, it updates it on your website dynamically. And so that's a nice feature so that you don't have to use two different tools to maintain a calendar. We provide do-it-yourself training through our wiki website. We'll give you a link to that in a little bit, but that provides modules, video, and text that tells you how to do certain things and set different things up. And so you can kind of go through at your own pace and on your own schedule, learning how to kind of use the websites. We have district trainer support. So I think Joanne, the gentleman that you were talking about, Terry, is that the person that you have as the district trainer? So you
It
do
is.
have a district trainer in your district that helps, but the KI staff are here and more than willing to help you with questions as well. So while that says district trainer supported, it's really a combination of those two, right? You've got a couple of different sources of support. So we're not setting up this website and giving it to you and say you're on your own, take care of it yourself. We're here to help you when you need it. So, and that's both at the district level and then at the KI level too. Talked about social links and feeds, right? You can integrate to varying degrees Facebook, Twitter, or X, and Instagram, and so that allows you to connect those social media. And then again, as we talked about, we now have this premium AI chat agent that you can install on your club websites that'll help visitors to your website find information more easily. And we'll give you a demonstration of that in a little bit. So I guess I'll stop there. Any questions in regards to what we've talked about the program, Joe?
Gotta get to my unmute button. Mine was on the languages. Say if we just open a new club, that the town is pretty much split with Spanish speaking and English. Would
Sure.
we set up two separate?
You could. We'd have to probably talk about, I don't know that we've ever run into that before, but that is probably what we'd be looking at as something like that. And we'd have to figure out how you would differentiate those,
The two?
whether we'd put a prefix on there or something like that. That's an interesting uh, situation though, and uh, probably would be worth some discussion, between
Okay.
your club and ourselves and Tom, our director of IT and things like that. But I'm sure we could figure out a way to accomplish that. But I do think probably going the route that you're talking about would be the way to do it, since we only can designate kind of one language to the
Okay. I
website.
won't
So
mention anything to the club until we
yeah,
talk.
sure, understood.
Okay.
Good question though. Anybody else?
Yes, Bryce, it's Frank
Frank,
here.
yeah.
I said we weren't using the KI website, but I have a feeling we have one that is set up because I did get some emails that say there is a KI website that has our name on it. and I'm
Sure.
getting a lot of emails that say there's a problem with the Facebook link to that website.
Yep.
So first question is, are we part of this process already? Is it happening unbeknownst to me? Because I did sign up, I did submit the form. My intention was that we would simply transfer hosting from our own Web Hosting Canada location to you guys, but maybe we have a website being set up.
I think probably you do have one or have had one set up in the past, Frank. It's Brandon, Manitoba, is that right?
That's
Is the name
right.
of the club? Okay.
That's right.
Let me check offline and I'll check and see. I'm almost positive you do have one because that Facebook feed issue is one that we've had with some clubs. And so that sounds right in line with what a club who maybe hasn't gotten back into their website in a while. I think probably that's something that they would have heard as well. So I think you probably do. And that's great. That just means we've already done the setup process. Well, all we need to do at this point, if you guys want to revisit going in and using that website, is just get the appropriate people access. And then you guys can get in there and start updating it, things like that. So,
Well, first, and also we are fairly proud of what we have now that we
oh, yeah. I mean, yeah,
built
you
on our
don't have
own.
to.
And
Sure,
all of the key features that you've mentioned, we already have
sure.
as part of what we do in our own website. So can that simply be moved?
It can't, we can't move that actual website platform since it's not, I assume it's probably not built on WordPress, and I don't think we
It
can.
is, but it's built on WordPress. Yeah.
Okay. Because we have a managed instance, I don't know that we'd be able to move it over, but you certainly, I would think the content wise, we could move it. I guess the biggest kind of benefit would be the fact that I assume you're probably paying some monthly or yearly fee for that website, or at least for hosting for it.
Yes. $15 a year for hosting to Web Hosting Canada.
Oh,
Plus, I just renewed it. Well, I renewed it for 5 years, and there's another hosting thing that was renewed for 3 years, and it's $389 for 3 years. So about $120 a year on
okay.
average gets both of those.
Sure, sure. So, I always talk when I, talk about the club websites, the club websites really were designed to speak to 85 or 90% of the Kiwanis world, right? There are going to be some clubs who like the website that they have, are okay with the fees that they pay to host it. Uh, Probably have some more in-depth features and things like that. So this isn't probably gonna compete with every web platform itself. It is free, so that's probably its best calling feature. But yeah, depending on Frank, we probably would want to kind of maybe meet offline and take a look at your current website and see,
Okay.
how compatible or how easy it would be to move some of that content over. Just to kind of talk about specifics, but it wouldn't be as simple as moving the website over itself, but we'd be recreating it, I guess, within our managed instance, which, you know, depending on what content you have on there might be more or less complex, but we can definitely take a look at it together.
Okay, Bryce, we'll do that.
All
And
right,
I
great.
think what you're telling me, what we have to do is recreate it. But
Probably, but
irresponsible.
depending on how complex that is, that may be more or less of a big job than it kind of sounds like. So,
Okay.
but I'd be interested in looking at your website and seeing how that might be done. So,
Okay,
but
Bryce,
again,
we'll do that.
yep, at the end of the day, for any of you, at the end of the day, if what we show you is like, well, we have something and we kind of like what it is compared to that, that's okay. The point of this is to provide Kiwanis clubs an option, right? There are some clubs that aren't gonna know where to go to try to set something up like this up, and so that's what we're here for. But we certainly know that there are some clubs that are going to want to do more complex things. They're gonna, want to have more control and whatnot, and so we certainly understand that. We're not looking to be everything to everybody as part of that. So, but we're happy to be able to provide this. So. Let's see. So sometimes when I present on this, we get some questions on why we would do this, right? Kiwanis is a service organization. why are we getting into kind of the web hosting, business as part of that. And there's three kind of main reasons that we decided to start this program about 6 years ago. One is just simply to be able to provide something to clubs that will help them have an attractive and professional website while making it simple to maintain it, right? There are some clubs that don't have a web presence at all. And so we wanted to build something that would be easy for those clubs to adopt so that they could have something to show, if they're recruiting members, they can say, go to KiwanisClubOfMainStreet.org or whatnot. And so we wanted to give folks an easy tool for them to be able to create that. So not everybody's going to need something simple like that, but we wanted it to be available for those clubs that do need it. One of the biggest reasons is, right, to have a digital identity so that when you're recruiting members, like we just said, right, you have some place to send them to. They're obviously, when you recruit members, you may still be passing out invitations and things like that, paper marketing and whatnot. But really, if somebody can pull up your club's information on their phone or something like that, that's probably going to be a much more powerful way to recruit somebody. And so, if you have a good looking updated website that has all your current information on there, that's going to go a long way to attracting those members. And then finally, we always are looking at ways to repay your investment in the organization, right? You as club members spend a lot of time, you spend money on Kiwanis as an organization and the mission that we're all trying to do. And we, from the KI, from the organizational side, we're always looking for a way to provide you value back as part of the time and treasure that you pay. And so one of the ways that we can do that is providing you a tool like this at the lowest cost we could imagine, which was zero, right? Free website, doesn't cost you anything to use it. Now, there are some areas where cost could come in depending on how you want to customize it, but we wanted to give members in clubs something that they could use to fill this hole without having to pay anything at all. And so those are some of the reasons that we have moved into providing this web hosting. So this is where we're going to get into demonstrating some of these specific things for you to show you how easy it is to use the system. So we're first going to talk about page creation and editing. And so just a couple of different points about page creation and editing pages, right? This area gives you just the ability to design and lay out, the content that you want to put on your club website pages, depending on what kind of information you're wanting to impart. So that may be text information, it may be video, it may be photos, it could be a form, it could be files and things like that. Lots of different things you can use with our block editing tool. You can privatize or protect pages so that if you have areas that you only want to be available to specific people, you can do so. You can do it in a way that's account based, and you can do it in a way where you just provide a shared password. We'll show you a little bit about that as well. And then you can situate your navigation and your menus depending on how you want to lay out your pages or whatnot. It's very easy to do, kind of drop and drag or drag and drop method. And so we're going to take a look at that as well. So with that, I am going to move over to our website. I should be still sharing. Is that right? Does it show my screen with the dashboard on there? Great. So where we're at now is actually in the dashboard of my club website administration. So when we spin up a site for you, we send you a link to where you can log into your dashboard. You create a password and a username to get in, and then that allows you to get in, and you'll see kind of this dashboard area here. And so you can see it's fairly well, easily laid out. It gives you these different options along the sides here, and we'll talk about some of what those are as we go through there. But we're going to take a look at the pages area first. So We're going to go to pages, and pages is where you create a page for your website. It's where you edit and maintain it or whatnot. And so when we go here, we can see all of these different pages that we have for this Club of Bryce club website here. And so we can see different pages. We're going to create a page of our own. And so we're going to click on Add New Page. And I blew that up for everybody. Hopefully that's easy to see on your screens as part of it. So if at any time I go too fast or you can't, it's too small or anything, just let me know. But here's a draft page that we have for our website. So it's going to ask us for a title. That seems pretty simple. We'll say this is the Western Canada education page. So we've given a title to our page, and now we're going to start typing just some text. Maybe we want to put some, an introduction piece on a page that we're, listing. So So from there, we've easily, entered some text as part of our website. So it's adding text to your web page is as simple as that. Let's say we want to add a photo to our page as well. And so every time we go down a section, it's going to give us this little black plus button, and that's to add a block of content. And that content can be lots of different things. So let's click on that plus button there. And you'll notice we get this little pop-up here that allows us to add a different type of content. We've got a couple of different recommendations here, but we could also do browse all. And when you do that, you can see all these different types of content that we can add to our page, right? We can add an image, we can add video, we can add, a calendar and things like that. So lots of different things we can add to a page. So let's add an image here. So we're going to click on image. And it's going to ask us, where do we want to get that image from? We could take an image from a file that we have on our computer and then upload, drop it or drag and drop it here and upload it. We could also go to our media library. So as part of your dashboard, you have a media library where you can save images at. And so if we say media library, we've got some sample pictures on here. Let's just choose a picture. And then we're going to install that. And so now we've put some text on our page. We've added a photo to our page, right? Real easy. Within 5 minutes, we just added some information as part of that. So let's add another piece to it. Let's add, let's see here. Let's say we want to add a video. So the easiest way to add a video is to use these embed blocks down here. And so what this allows you to do is it allows you to embed media that's stored somewhere else. So we're going to put this YouTube block in here, and let's find move my
Bryce, does
yes.
Kiwanis International have a YouTube channel that we could be
Does
going there and taking it and sticking it in our website?
It can. So if we go to just search for Kiwanis on YouTube, it'll take you to the Kiwanis channel. We've got a couple of videos on there. This is one that people use a lot. So I'm going to go and I'm going to get the URL, the web address for this video. And then if I go back to my web page, if I just put that in here and click embed, now that video will show up on my page right away. And you can do that with any. So let's say your club has a YouTube channel, or it has, or it stores video somewhere else, like on Vimeo or something like that. There's a video block that you can add in there, and you just put the the website address for where that video is stored. And rather than putting the video in your media library, it just streams it from the site that it's on already. So again, another easy way to add content to our page. Let's do one more. Let's add a file of some type here. So we'll go browse all, and we're going to go add a file. We'll go to our media library. And let's just say we want to add a PDF file. So we're going to choose this file that is a PDF. We can, we can look for it as a different type of file, or if we know the title of it, we can search for it. So we're going to click select. And so now on that page that we've created, we've got a photo, we've got some text that we added, we've got a video. Now we've got a PDF that folks can view. If it's a multiple page PDF, you'll be able to flip through the pages. You can download it from there. So, this is a place where you can store particular files and things like that. So again, it only took us 7-10 minutes to add all that to there, right? Very easy to add content as part of the structure itself. And then once we click publish, we just publish that page. And now if we go to the website, it's going to show us that in part of our, we'll be able to see it as part of our navigation. So very easy to add pages and to edit pages, add content to pages. Always good to spell things correctly when you list them also. But any questions about editing a page? Okay. Let's talk about privatizing or protecting a page. So let's say, for example, on our Western Canada education page, we want to make that page only available to certain people. So if we go to quick edit here, we can do that one of two ways. We can create a shared password for that page. So maybe we're a club and we have a members only page, and we're going to do it so that we're going to set up a password that everybody's going to use, and we're only going to give that to members, right? And so we'll tell our members that it's best password. That's the page that we want. And so now for somebody to be able to get into that page, it's going to require that they enter that password when they go to it as part of that. So that's probably the easiest way to password protect a page, right? So that people don't have to create an account to get into it or anything like that. You can just create one password to get in, and that takes care of it. The other way to do it is to do this and then to mark it as private. And what that will require is that anybody to get into that page will have to have a WordPress login that's separate from like their Kiwanis login or something like that. That is a more difficult way to do it. It's more secure, but it puts more responsibility and technology knowledge on your members. And sometimes that can be an issue, that there's more complexity to it as part of that. So we usually suggest the password option just because it's easier. You just want to make sure that people don't share that password with people that shouldn't be getting in there, right? They don't want to publish that or whatnot. But certainly that's an easier way to do it. It's just to share that password with only your members, and then they can get into that page. So okay. And then finally on our page in page creation and editing, we'll talk about how to do menus. So again, we created our page, our Western Canada education page, but we want to put it into our navigation, our page navigation. So the way to do that's very easy. We just click the page that we want. We click add to menu. Notice it's added it to our menu. Now, if we wanted to nest that under a specific section, right? Maybe we want to put it under the About Us section. All we have to do is just drag and drop it. We place it under that section. We click Save Menu. And then if we go to our website Now, if we go about us, we've got that page right under there. Notice that there's that password protection right there. If we do best password, and I've typed that right. Oh, I did good. It let us right in. So that's what the password protection looks like, but that's also how you structure your menus and things of that nature. So fairly simple, right? That's the point, is we've tried to create this as something that's simple to use, that's easy, that, you know, with just a little bit of tutelage, you'll be able to learn as part of that. So, any questions before we move on? Beverly, did you have a question?
Yes, I did. Okay, so is there a limit to the size of this web? Like how many
There is
pages?
not.
There is
There's
not.
not. Well, I take that back. We haven't reached it. And I know a lot of clubs that have a lot of pages as part of it. So
Well,
our
we won't reach it. I just was
okay, sure.
curious. So I'm
But
sure
from a
we,
question, yeah, it's a good question from a standpoint of like the pictures and any video that you put on there and things like that, like storage. And to answer that question, our storage for our websites is shared storage. So we have one instance of storage that we share amongst all of our websites, and that
Mhm.
storage capacity expands and contracts based upon what we need.
Oh,
So it will grow based on what we need as part of that. And as long as everybody's a good steward of that space, then we'll continue to be able to offer unlimited space as part of that. Now, if you go and put, you know, a 4K version of Lord of the Rings on your website, you know, that is like 20 gigs long, you know, 20 gigs big or something like that, then we might run into a problem. But, you know, with the size of the files that clubs are using right now, we don't anticipate that there'll be a storage problem at all. So
so when I go to set up my website, sorry, Task, I've got 3 questions. Sorry.
sure, sure. And
Um,
Joe, I'll get you next.
so I'm going to go and set up this website. Um, you have a bunch of stock photos, so I can just pull off the logos and things like that to put it right on, or do I have to recreate that too?
Nope, we load them for you. So we basically have a, a website template clone that we just spin up.
Oh,
And so
okay.
all of them are created with the same assets. Now, that's not to say it's not a good idea to add your own pictures and things like that, right? Because that's really the stuff that's engaging, is
Yes, yeah.
stuff that people recognize from your community. But you'll get a whole slew of different stock images that are licensed for you to use. Basically, it's stuff
Well,
we've shot. So
yeah, I always worry about the kids ones because you don't want to
yep,
be putting kids on. Okay, so the one other thing that I have to ask is, how do I find this to form so that I can start tomorrow setting up my free website?
sure. So I'll have a way I'll show you at the end of this session how you
Oh,
can
okay.
sign up for it. So we will definitely share that with y'all so that you know how you can sign up for it. So yep,
Well,
we'll handle
thank
that
you very
as we go
much.
along. Yep, sure. Joe,
Okay.
you had a question or a comment?
Mine would be on, could you show us how to do gallery photos?
Sure,
Because you take a lot of photos at events. What's a
sure.
nice way to put them in there?
So let's go back to our page real quick. We'll go down. We're going to go to our block editor. We'll click gallery. We'll go to our media library and we'll just pick some.
So we'll pretend that I've uploaded a bunch of it from a project.
Sure. Yeah. Could be different things. These are all kind of sample ones or whatever. Okay. So we've chosen multiple photos. Then we're
Okay.
just going to create a new gallery. I could name that gallery so that I can get to it again some other time. I think I
Yeah,
can.
it was the
No, no,
pancake
maybe I
feed
can't
or
name it. So I'm
something.
just going to click insert gallery. And now I get kind of this collage of different photos. And I can resize those and make them different. So easy as that. You just choose the multiple pictures that you want to add to them. We also have a carousel option as well, so that if you want photos to kind of have been a kind of a scrolling method within the page itself, you can do that also. So that's called I forget what that plugin is called. WP Carousel Pro. So that's an option also you could do as part of that. So
All right. I will just on a side note, we do have a future member of our club who is blind. So
okay.
I have since learned that we should have been putting descriptions on
Yep,
all
that's
of our pictures.
always good
Never
practice with
thought of it
images.
before.
Yeah. And a lot of systems have taken to kind of prompting you to add a description. Sometimes if you don't know what that's for, you just kind of blow over it a little bit, but that is what it's for, is to give audio descriptions for accessibility readers for folks that are visually impaired. So yeah, it's a good point. All right, let's talk about leveraging forms. We talked about these forms that come, this form builder that comes as part of your website. And Joanne, just to confirm, are we going till 9:30 or 10? Well, are we going till half past the hour or the top of the hour?
We can, we can go as long as people want to continue
Okay.
listening, Bryce.
All right. Okay.
And
I
you're
appreciate
prepared
that.
to stay up.
I'm prepared. So yeah, as long as you all, well, I mean, within
Other
reason.
people need to
obviously.
log off. I think I booked it till 8 o'clock, so there'll be
Okay.
lots of time for questions, but
Sure.
people are asking questions as we go along, so it all works.
Great. All right. Well, again, as we talked about, we have a form builder that's built into the website so that you can add and embed forms into your websites to use. And so just some things about those. To use this, it's a very easy, drag and drop mechanism so that you can add different fields to your forms and different features. Like we talked about, you can connect a payment processor to your forms to collect payment in real time. And so that helps if you're selling tickets, maybe you're selling a product, maybe you're selling like holiday wreaths, during the winter time or whatnot, and you're taking orders through your website. Maybe you have an event, for if you're maybe you have a dinner or a conference or something like that, you can do registration and collect payment through these forms. So lots of different ways you can use that. And then you can set it up so that you receive notifications and that the person that submits the form can get confirmation, in lots of different robust ways. And so if you want that to go to a host of different people or whatnot, you can set all of that up as part of that. So let's take a look at our forms real quick here. So we go back to our dashboard and we go to the forms area. Let's create a form. So we'll just click add new when we're on the forms area. And it gives us a bunch of different template forms that we want. We could do a simple contact form. Maybe you just want to create a form on your website for people to contact you, right? That's always a good practice. Don't put personal information on your website, like a phone number and email address, because bad actors can go and scrape that data off of your website and then use it for nefarious purposes. So better to have a contact form so that somebody can fill out a request for information and it comes directly to you without exposing anybody's personal data. But it could be a contact form. Maybe you take donations. Maybe you're selling something as a e-commerce, right? Maybe you do an application form. Maybe you take member applications on there. So lots of different form templates that you could use as part of that. We're going to use a simple donation form here. And so we'll just choose the donation template. We'll say use template and we'll say, Kiwanis Club of Rice donations. Say use template. So now we have a form and it's got, kind of the bones on it, bones, structured on it. It, asks for the submitter's name, email information. It gives them some donation amounts, right? It gives them some other amount they could put in, gives them a total. And so it gives us kind of the framework of that information. But maybe we want to add some more fields to this form. So if we go over to the add fields area and we kind of scroll down the different sections, maybe we want to add the person's address. So all we have to do is just click and drag it over where we want it to be, and we add the address area of it. Maybe we want to get a phone number as well. We could do that also. We could put a phone number field in there also. Maybe we want to put some text. Maybe this is donation, and maybe we need to give them some type of registry number so that they can use it for, charitable deduction or something like that. And so we could just say registry. We could add that information on there as part of that. Maybe we want to put more amounts on this donation area. And so we click on that section and we kind of go down the field settings here. Click add choices or edit choices. Maybe we want to enter $1,000. We'll say USD in this instance. It's added that area. So very easy for us to add sections to this form. All we have to do is just go to the add fields area and drag and drop the sections that we want. We could put an image on this form. We could put different custom fields. And then if we wanted to integrate payment information, we would have to connect our payment processor to our form settings. So we support 3 different payment processors. We support PayPal, Square, and Stripe. Those are kind of the 3 main payment processing programs. But that means those are ones that you could integrate into this form that would allow you to take payment directly on the form itself. Now, some people ask us, I don't know, is Venmo a product that is used within Canada? Okay, Venmo doesn't have a presence there. I couldn't remember if they did or not. If you have other payment processing platforms where like a QR code is used to give payment, cough. You could certainly put the QR code on your form. You just won't be able to, they won't be able to give their payment information directly on your form itself. So PayPal, Square, and Stripe are the 3 integrated payment processors that we can add as part of this. But, to add that information in, it's as easy as just to kind of pull it over. Again, it's going to give me a message that I have to configure my settings. I haven't done that yet, but that is certainly something that you can do. You can add coupons, right? Discounts. You can do conditional logic. So let's say, for example, you choose $1,000 as an option, and it says, it gives you an option that if you choose that, it gives you a question that's conditional on you choosing that. So you can do different things like that. So very robust form builder. And again, you don't have to use it just to collect payment. You could do it to have a member application or a contact form or something like that that would allow you to to collect information somehow as part of that. So questions in regards to forms or maybe use cases or things like that? Anything you can think of that you might want to use a form for?
Could you use it for volunteer sign up for an activity or project?
You can. You'd have to structure it in a way that the form would allow to use it, but you can. I've seen clubs use it where they kind of use the form. They set up the form with like inventory. of different volunteer spots, you know,
Mhm.
for a specific time. Let's say you have 3 spots for 1 o'clock, 3 spots for 2 o'clock, and 3 spots for 3 o'clock. And when people sign up for it, those spots are taken up, right? So they run out of inventory. And so that's a way you can use the form builder as part of that. So yeah, lots of creative ways that you can use it, you know, besides just that kind of the out of the box way to do it. So it's a good question though. Other ways or other use cases that you can think of, or questions about just the forms themselves? Joe?
I know we did use it for an application. We made asked all the questions that are on an application so that it was easier.
Sure.
And we used it as a way to pay your annual dues.
Sure. Yep, definitely can do that. You know, with collecting dues, the form, most times clubs that use the form builder to collect dues, those are clubs that have a pretty consistent dues amount, right? Because uh you're not going to have a lot of ways to customize that payment amount to a specific person. It's not like an accounting system, right? That looks at John Smith or Jane Doe and says, this person owes a different amount than somebody else because of what they do or how they interact. And so, if you have consistent dues amounts for your members, then that's a simple way to kind of collect the dues as part of that. But if you have somebody, you know, if you have lunches included in your dues amounts and, you know, my amount's going to be different than Joe's amount or something like that, sometimes that might be too complex to do through that form builder. But certainly, you know, clubs do use it for dues collection, depending on that. So it just depends. And then you do have the ability to live preview the form before you actually publish it. So once you set this up and you want to test it, you can go through and kind of take a look at it. Apologies, I have a dry throat tonight. Any other questions? Go ahead, sure. Jerry.
If we had a webmaster in the club, for example, who kind of looks after keeping the club up to date, and we have another member who is a photographer, could that photographer load stuff onto the website into a site that's not displayed so the webmaster can draw from that and present it in a page?
They probably wouldn't load it into a page itself. You would probably want to give that person contributor access. So there's a couple of different roles you can assign users. And so you could assign that photographer a contributor role, which would allow them to go in and maybe upload things to the media library so that those photos are available for the web administrator to use. But same way to kind of a different way to skin the cat, so you get to the same endpoint as part of it.
So then they would use the media library as their storage site.
Absolutely, that's right.
Would that
Now,
then
if you
have
didn't-
thousands of photos?
Yes, right. Like, you know, again, we don't cap the storage, so you should be able to put photos in there. Now, if you didn't want to do it that way, you certainly could use a third-party cloud storage system like Google Drive or Dropbox or something like that. That just means that you'd be transmitting that information through a third-party system, and that person would just be taking it from Dropbox or wherever and putting it into the media library. So it's an extra step to get to the same kind of place. So why not just have them uploaded into your media library directly? So
Good
good
question. That
question.
helped me.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Definitely want to hit the last two parts. So let's talk about connecting your Facebook page. So we talked about the fact that, you know, even if you have a club website, you may want to point people or show people your social media content as well. And so we have a couple of different features that you can leverage to do so. So we have an actual integration that will allow you to plug your Facebook feed into your website, that will allow your feed to show and update dynamically, so that when you post on your club's Facebook page, it updates it on your website automatically. And so that's a nice feature, so that people don't have to go to multiple places at the same time. You can determine, what that feed looks like on your page, so you can kind of, fiddle with the layout of it, and what the posts look like and things like that. And then besides that, if you have Twitter or X or Instagram, if you want to put links to those channels on your page, you can certainly do that as well. So we'll show you how each of those kind of looks here next. So let me go to my we're actually already on there. Oops. Let's go to my my website here. So we'll go to a home. And so you can see my home page right now. I don't have anything from my Facebook page on here. So I'm going to
You're
go.
not sharing right now, Bryce.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I see it.
Oh,
I do see it.
Is it okay? Is it in a different
Okay,
window,
oh.
maybe?
maybe I did something. Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm fixed. I fixed myself.
Okay. All right, great. I'm like, what did I do? I'm sure it could have been me, but so let's go and take a look. So we want to integrate our Facebook feed. So we're going to go to this option that says Facebook feed here. We're not going to save any of our changes from before. We're going to go and I'm going to take this one off because I don't have access to that page anymore. So I'm going to add a Facebook page feed on here. So this would be a page that I myself have access to through my Facebook account, right? So that's part of the equation is that, if you have a Facebook page for your club, then the person that goes and sets this up has to have access to that page through their Facebook account. So if that's not you, you'll need to work with that person to get access. But let me show you how you add that feed there. So we're going to go through, we're just going to choose the default options here. We're going to just choose the timeline. We're going to add a new source. So our source is our page. That's our Facebook page that we're going to utilize. I'm going to go in, I'm going to connect to Facebook. It's going to ask me if I want to continue. And so it's going to communicate with Facebook here, and it's going to ask me to kind of log in or authorize myself to kind of get in here. And so now I can see all these websites that I have access to. So let's say this is, we'll choose a club that's been around for a little bit. Let's say Fort Lee, New Jersey. So I'm going to click add. I'm going to choose the page that I want to connect to, and I click next. I'll just choose the default theme. And again, we've got training on this that shows you how to do all of this. So you don't have to remember it from what I'm telling you here, but I want to show you how easy it is to set it up. So now it shows us kind of what that feed looks like. We have these posts here. I could change how these look, right? I can make them a different theme. I can make the layout different. I can make the color scheme different. Maybe I make it dark. Let's do that and see what that looks like. I can change, what the like box looks like and all of these things. So I can do lots of different things, but let's just have it be this part. We'll just leave it the way it is right now. So I'm going to click save. Now I'm going to go back to my feeds. And then I'm going to notice here that it shows me that this is Facebook feed 13. That's important because we're going to go and add this to our margin of our pages. Add a feature. We're going to choose the feed that we want to install. So I just added that using, the name of the feed from the drop down. Now, if I go to my website, I have that feed listed along the margin of my page. And so when somebody posts to my Facebook page on Facebook, it's going to automatically update this information right here. So it's going to continue to update those posts. And if somebody wants to load some more posts, they can do that. They can go back, farther or whatnot, but they can see that information right from there. So, and again, we just did that within 5 or 7 minutes. So not very long for us to add, but you can make this look different. Again, we use the dark theme. That's kind of makes it stand out. That's kind of nice, but you can do different things with it as part of that. So again, a nice dynamic way, right? You could put the same information and write it along here, but that would require you maintain it in 2 different areas. Why not integrate the Facebook feed so that it updates it automatically when you do it from Facebook? And it has the pictures and everything, looks very, engaging and interactive. And so that's a nice feature as part of that. So any questions
I
on the
have
Facebook
one.
feed? Yeah, Ian, go ahead.
So when I look at our Facebook page, there will
Uh-huh.
be posts that the club has made, but also there's also random posts that seem to appear on our Facebook page. So what would appear on this feed? Just our posts or everything that anybody else happened to post on our page?
It depends. It depends on, I think, the sharing settings that you have on your Facebook page. Like you might have, you might go and share a post from somebody else's Facebook page. Let's say you're an administrator for your Facebook page,
Yeah,
and
I am.
you're on the Kiwanis Facebook page, and you share that to your club's Facebook page. That type of post would show up in there. But if in your feed you have like ads showing up
Yes.
or other things, that's not going to show up because it's only looking at the things that you post or you have shared on your Facebook feed
Okay, that's
itself.
just what I
Does that
wanted to
make
know.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot of crap appears on some Facebook pages.
absolutely. Yep, you're right. So it's only going to show what you're showing in the kind of the posts area of your page itself. So that's a great question. I've not thought about that, but that's absolutely a consideration that people have as well. So good question. I mentioned you can also connect your accounts for your other social media. This isn't as dynamic as the Facebook feed integration is. This is just a simple link. So if I had an Instagram link or an Instagram page for my club, if I clicked on this, that would just take me to my club's Instagram or Twitter. We probably need to update that to X, but people still call it Twitter sometimes. But so these are going to navigate somebody away from your page. This one just takes you to Kiwanis. But you still can, again, this still allows people when they come to your page, if they want to see, what Instagram photos do you have, they can get to you right from there. So again, it's all about having a home kind of for this information. And then people might go to different channels that you have, but at least they're coming to one specific place. And so, and again, as a demo page, this page is pretty, dynamic, full color pictures, nice and branded, looks professional, right? Everything's kind of aligned. You've got nice navigation along the top. You can make these navigation buttons anything you want. So lots of customization involved as part of that. So any other questions about the social media aspects before I move on? Okay. Well, my last piece is the premium AI chat agent that we have as part of that. And this is brand new. This is something that we've started offering in the last couple of weeks. And so just a little bit about this. This allows you to install a chat agent on your club website. If you have a club website with KI, that'll assist your visitors in finding information on about your club or from your club site. So, somebody could come to your club website, and if you have a lot of information on there, they might search for it, or they might navigate around or whatnot. Or maybe they just have questions in general about Kiwanis or whatnot. They could search for that information on their own, but you now have the ability to add a chat agent that you can train on answering some of those questions. You get to decide what you train your chat agent on, so you can train it on different information, and different catalogs or libraries of information. And then you get to establish what that experience is like for the user, when they're communicating with the agent itself. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to go to the Capital District's website, and they're a district that is piloting this chat agent for us right now. And so this is the Capital District, which is a district in the US that covers some of the northern states that are around, like Washington, D.C., Virginia, Maryland, things like that. But this is their district website, just like the Western Canada District would have a website. But they on here have an installed little widget. You can see this little guy right down here. That's the graphic that they chose. You can choose a different thing if you'd like. And it tells you, hey, this is an AI assisted chatbot for the Capital District. You can name it what you want. You can make this introduction say whatever you'd like on that. And so if a visitor comes to your site and they maybe have a visitor come here, or maybe it's somebody you're trying to recruit and they don't know what Kiwanis is. Maybe they just say, what is Kiwanis? And so they can click on those kind of pre-programmed questions, and it'll give them like a message about, what Kiwanis is, kind of what the mission is and things like that, and ask questions about this. Maybe somebody comes back and says, how many clubs are in the district? Let's see if it knows how to answer that. Yeah, so it answered that question. Again, this is for the Capital District. So it's 7 regions, 20 divisions, over 170 clubs. Talks about the states or the localities that it's in. So think about this. Again, this is a district version of this, but think about what this could be for your club as well. Maybe somebody comes to your website and says, when does the club meet? Now, they could look through your website to find that information, but they could also come to this chat bot, find that information right away. Maybe you have information about a service leadership club that your club sponsors, and somebody wants to come and ask a question. What youth clubs does your club sponsor? And so they could ask that chat agent as part of this. So this is another feature that allows, more user friendliness for your website. This feature, unlike the other aspects of the Kiwanis websites, does have a cost. So we can install this widget for you, but the service that provides this chat agent has a subscription cost, and that subscription cost is $40 a month. Now that's quite a bit. It just went up from 20, so it went from 20 to 40. But again, if you have a lot of data on your website and you want something that's what's that?
$60.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Joanne. That's 40 US. That's right. So, depending on the size of your club and how much data you have on there and how many questions you might get, this may or may not be effective for to use, but certainly there are clubs that might want to leverage this. Maybe the cost that you have that you don't pay for your website because we're hosting it, maybe you use the chat feature or whatnot. So just another feature that we've offered as part of that. Jerry, you had a question or comment?
Where does the chat box get its answers?
So as part of the setup for the chatbot, you actually specify the websites that you want the chat or the AI to crawl. And so it'll have you put in the website pages, the links to the website pages that you want to do. So you might put in all your club website pages, right? Because that would be, that would be one place where the AI can get information is about all the information that you have on your website. Maybe you put in the Kiwanis website as well. So that if somebody comes to your website and says, what is Kiwanis? Or, what does maybe put in the Western Canada District's website so that people can ask questions about the district. You can have it crawl whatever website pages you want. Obviously, you want those to be associated with Kiwanis some way. You don't want to put Amazon.com in there so that the website crawls, all of Amazon's information or whatever. But you specify the website that you want the AI to crawl, and then the AI will go and learn information from those website pages that you have as part of that. You can also upload static documents as well. So maybe you have a flyer for a project. You could upload that into the AI training library as part of the back end setup of this, and it would learn that information and be able to answer that way as well. So, yeah, you can make the library include anything that you want. You just tell it the website address or the folder of information or the document that you want it to learn, and it will include that in its training library. Great question. Any other questions about that? I know that seems kind of science fiction-y. That's probably, if you're coming in on the ground level, that's probably something that's maybe a little over the horizon for you, but it's a feature that we're excited to exploit and offer as part of that. So we wanted to show that. All right. Well, you all have asked great questions during the time that we've been together. Are there other questions that I can answer? I know, Beverly, I'm gonna show you how to sign up for a website here in just a second. So I know that's a question, but
Well,
are there other questions that you
I
have?
have
Ian?
a few questions, Bryce.
Yeah, sure.
So does this support an email address capability? For example, right now we use president at our domain name as an email address. Does this have that same capability?
It does not. We unfortunately can't offer domain management right now, which is where you normally get your email
Okay.
offering from. We've looked for ways to kind of take that over so that you don't have to go through GoDaddy or somebody else to kind of get a custom domain, but we've not found a solution to that will work for the scale. Having said that, and I know that that this question was asked before we started the session, we do support domain forwarding. So Ian, in the case of that, what you would do is you would sign up for a custom domain, again through GoDaddy or Hover or one of the countless other registrar products that do that. And you would purchase a custom domain through them. They would likely give you an email.
Yeah.
They usually give like 5 emails or something like that as part of that.
Yeah.
You would
Flexible.
continue to use that, but you can set it up so that that domain forwards to your Kiwanis website. So if somebody types in, KiwanisClubOfMainStreet.org, it will take them automatically over to your Kiwanis website.
Yeah,
And that
okay.
that allows you to have a prettier, website address, basically.
Yeah, so we have, it is GoDaddy, so I have 5 email addresses attached to
Yeah,
that.
sure.
So on our contact form, would we specify the email address that the contact form is sent to?
Well, if you're using the form builder that's built into the website,
Yeah.
it's not really an email. They're inputting the information, and then that information, all the data for that form is stored within your website, and a notification will be sent to you with that form that's been submitted.
Okay.
So it's not really an email per se. If you've used FormStack or JotForm before or anything like that, it's kind of like that, but it's going to shoot an email to you, but they won't be sending an email. They'll just be filling out the form directly on your computer.
Yeah, but I know, but then the notification gets sent to who? It gets sent to our website in some manner?
Yeah, you specify who you want it to be sent to, so it'll automatically go to your web administrator, but you can
Okay,
also
so that would be, in this case, our GoDaddy email address. It
right.
would go to.
Okay, sure. Then that and
Okay.
then that would go to whoever's got access to that email address, I would assume then, or
Okay.
whoever that's forwarding to. You can send it to multiple people, so it can
Yeah,
go to
no, that's fine, that's fine. I
yeah,
just wanted to
sure.
understand how that worked.
Yeah,
The next
absolutely.
question is that we run a couple of programs where people have to submit an application.
Mm.
Can we just put the application form, store it someplace, and then someplace on the website here, if you're interested in this, click here for the application form?
Yep, certainly could. So that's kind of like when we embedded that PDF on our homepage, it'd be the same thing. You could, you could post it right there for somebody to download and fill out, or if it's a fillable form, they could do it from there. If it's
It's a question.
housed somewhere else, you could just put a button on there that leads them to that site or whatnot. Maybe you're using a third-party site to have them fill out something or something. So yes, you can do
It's,
any of
it's
those different solutions.
basically the information they have to submit. For example, our scholarship program, they have to have letters of reference. So it's
Yep.
separate material. You can't really can't fill out a form for it.
Yeah, sure. Yes, you could put just a PDF form or a Word form or whatever as part of that. So definitely you could post that there.
So a separate question that has nothing to do with website.
Okay.
So I'm looking for a reasonably priced newsletter capability.
Okay.
Does KI have something that I can use to send out newsletters?
Are you looking for something that handles the distribution of the newsletter or the design of the newsletter?
Perhaps both.
Okay.
There's
Yeah, go ahead, Joanne. Did you
So
have a suggestion?
we've been using Constant Contact, but
Yeah.
they've been quite expensive, and I just suspended the
Sure.
account this week. So I'm going to start looking for a new newsletter format or capability.
A service called Brevo is one that I've heard of that is either free or low cost. I think probably they have a premium version of it as well, but it handles both distribution and design.
Okay.
So that might be something that
basically
check
KI
out.
doesn't have one. Is what I'm.
We don't know. We won't have
Okay.
anything that we'll use. Now, having said that, there will be not to get too far into this, Qantas is currently working on a new reporting system that will take the place of the Qantas reporting site where you go in and do your monthly reports.
Yeah.
We are working on that right now. And at some point that will give clubs the ability to shoot out mass emails to their members. And when that comes along, that would give you the ability to do something like that. But we're probably not talking about until the latter half of 2025 for that
Yeah.
coming.
Okay.
Yeah. So good question though. And we can certainly talk sometime if you have questions about that new platform, we can talk about it as well. That's a whole other kit and caboodle, but there'll be
Yep.
some added features as part of that that'll be
No,
free.
I was just going to pick your brain, see if we.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll have my contact information at the end. So if anybody wants to call about what we've talked about, you certainly can. But I wanted to, before we end, because I know we're about at the end of our time, and you all have been great participants and had great questions, but I wanted to give you a couple of resources. So we do have some general information on the Qantas.org website that you can go to. If you just scan this QR code, it'll just give you some details. It will give you a link to the training website that we have as well, so you can get to it from there. It will also take you to the request form for asking for a website to be set up for you as part of that. Part of the request process, which you can get to the form through this QR code here, but you can get to it from that website that I just showed. There's 3 steps to signing up for one of these club websites. First of all, pick somebody in your club that's going to kind of be the first point of contact, right? They don't have to be the only person that works on the website, and they shouldn't, right? We talked a little bit about, Frank, we mentioned when we were talking before, it's a good idea to have multiple people have access into the website so that if somebody gets waylaid or leaves the club or something like that, you don't lose all access to your website. But starting out, choose somebody that's going to be nominally kind of like the webmaster, right? The person that's going to get everything going. Once you determine who that is, have that webmaster fill out the request form through this QR code. And then once we receive that request form, it takes about 3 to 5 days for us to spin up the site and respond to you. Could be less, probably is not going to be more. Sometimes we can turn them around in 48 hours. It just depends on the volume that we're getting as part of that. But very easy process, right? You request the site. You give us a little information about yourself and your club. We spin it up, give you the kind of the demo site and give you the way to access it. And then once you kind of go through some of the training modules, you can start adding content, and hopefully you've seen how easy it is to do from what we've seen here. So with that, there's my contact information. So if any of you are interested in contacting or touching base with me directly, kind of talk about specifics for your clubs. Sometimes I know it's hard to talk in generalities when we have these sessions. So if you'd like to reach out to me and talk about your specific instance, Frank, I know again we were going to talk about some of the options for your club and what we might be able to do with what you've got now or whatnot. Feel free to contact me and we'll set up some time. If we need to jump on Zoom and screen share, we can do that. But we want you to know that there's staff available to help you. We don't want you to feel like you're all alone. If you need help from us, just let us know. But we're excited about this. Hopefully, if you don't have a website or if you're looking for a new website, this might be an option for you. And again, it's free. There's not many things in life that are free anymore. So when you can take advantage of that, we think it's usually a good thing. So with that, are there any other questions? Is there anything else I can address for you?
Just thank you so much for staying up
Yeah.
late.
I know
Sure,
it's,
absolutely. Yeah. I'll turn it back over to you, Joanne, just to close us out, I assume.
yes.
So
Well, just wanted to say thank you. I mean, my mind is just bursting with all sorts of ideas, and with the demonstration, I'm thinking, well, gee, even I, as Joe said, she said, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Very simple drag and drop with lots of support. It's just finding that time. And so we appreciate the time that you spent and that your team has spent in creating these resources and the training videos. And hopefully we'll get a few more people on board. And I know our Western Canada District website needs a whole new revamp as well. So I've been making little notes. So on behalf of all of us tonight, I'd like to really thank you and for your expertise and your support. So thanks,
thanks for the
Bryce.
opportunity. Appreciate it. It's good to see you all.
Joanne-
Have a great rest of your week. And yeah,
Joanne, will you share the recording of this?
I will be, it takes me a little while to edit it and upload it and that, so it'll come, I'll send the link out this weekend.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
All right,
I'll
take
send
care,
some
everybody.
AI notes as well.
Thanks, Brett.